Welcome back to Wake Up with Cheddar. In an election year unlike any other, Americans are anxious. According to a recent survey by the American Psychological Association, nearly 70% of respondents said the 2020 presidential election is a more significant source of stress and anxiety than the 2016 race. And joining us now is Anita K, certified life coach and author of Behaving Bravely: How to Mindshift Life's Challenges. Anita, great to have you on. Why do you think this election causing more stress than years past?
Good morning, Jill. It's great to be here. Thank you so much. Yes, I agree. This 2020 election has and continues to stress Americans out. And I think it's laced with and stacked with the COVID-19 pandemic that's factored into the mix, following with the shifts in the economy, work alterations, and of course, social unrest. I think the election stress is not entirely divided among party lines, but the stresses around the political climate are definitely bipartisan. So we really have a lot more on our plate this election than any other time.
So what specifically are people worried about?
I think they're really worried about things that are really impacting their personal bottom line, their health care, financial, aligning with the right party or political candidate on what's important to them in the future, how things are going to affect the future generations. And I think right now, for individuals that are laced with fear and anxiety around the election and the results, they're going through things like they're dwelling on, the things that are bothering them the most. And if we even have a possible delay in the election today, that could really add to that, because the degrees of delay really on matters that are important to us definitely, unfortunately, spike and induce issues of worry.
Based on the findings, are we finding that one party is more stressed than the other here? Are Republicans more stressed than Democrats? Democrats more stressed than Republicans? What do you know?
I think the Democrats are a little more on edge today, and rightfully so. But like I said, from the facts that I researched, the election stress is really, not entirely divided and equal among all party lines. It's really around both parties.
A lot of experts are predicting that we're not going to know who wins for days, perhaps weeks. So how does that factor in here? I mean, are we just in for days and days of stress?
You know what? If we are, Jill, we're going to have to really hunker down and rely on some personal anchors to get us through that fear of the unknown. And I think that's what we really have to be cognizant of right now, because that's definitely a fundamental fear. And it's not uncommon for some to deal with that with hopelessness and distress and asking ourselves questions on how are we going to navigate around these what ifs, and how can I manage all of my social awareness around the outward stimuli and all of this chatter. So I think today it's election day, and we really need to focus on self-regulation and incorporate, even if it's short-term, mood-boosting steps that can help for today and helpfully gravitate for the days to come.
So tell us a little bit about that. What are some tips and advice that you have for people who are dealing with some stress right now?
Great. I think it's really important. Well, the first one that comes to mind is what I call zooming in and out, waking up and starting with a 5 to 10 minute meditation, really in silence. That really puts you in balance and helps you understand. And this will help keep your thoughts and conversations more productive and grounded. And if that seems too complex, schedule 1 to 2 breaks today and cultivate your interest in something that really gives you some distraction and some personal joy. The second step is don't isolate. While we're practicing social distancing, it's really imperative to social bridge to ideas, resources, and activities that really keep us going in the now. Because isolation is going to increase, those risks of unbalanced emotional health, and that adds to the social angst and anxiety. So when we have something to look forward to today, it gives us that predictable outcome and keeps us moving forward. And three, I can't say this enough. Share your feelings. That's the practice of free speech we really need to incorporate as one of our primary methods, taking that personal inventory of our emotions. And if we're feeling a little unrest there, reach out and call a trusted somebody. We're not alone in our feelings and our thoughts, but we want to make sure that they're going to positively dictate our behaviors. So aligning with the right individuals will definitely continue to keep you in that supportive ecosystem. And then four, finally, I think this is really important for today and the days ahead, is balancing our social media and election day news on a schedule and inviting some humor with that. Filtering the amount of when and how much election news will make us feel a little more in control. And that balance of laughter can put things in perspective and diffuse the tension. So I hope those steps can really put us in a more relaxive state, because trusting that we still have this personal power to build our new normal is really key, not only in behaving bravely, but instilling that long-term hope.
I know that social media, is a way that people can connect with each other, because you mentioned, be social. But do you think that it's a net positive or a net negative, just in terms of stress?
Yes, it really, it really depends on your personal habits. Are you one of those that wants to look at the election poll numbers 24 hours a day, or can you implement healthy distraction to kind of keep you grounded? But I think negative. I think the more that we rely and almost get addicted to the habitual patterns of the different points of view, it can bog us down. It can offer more confusion, and it could add to the social contagion of anxiety.
All right. Thank you so much. Anita K, certified life coach and founder of Anita K Solutions. Really great to have you on this morning.